Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is someone who knows just as much about my dumb data as I do. It's my wife, Megan Hoffmeyer.
Hello.
So you've been working on this with me since day one. You've designed the graphics for a lot of these. You've sat in front of a TV, or you've done other things while I'm staring at the TV, analyzing Nicolas Cage running around in a bear suit.
Or taking pictures of the TV screen with your phone, or various other things.
And so I gave you an option, because we're doing this new series, and I gave you an option to kind of pick a couple movies that you're going to join me for. And the first one was Zara the Assistant's death in Jurassic World. What made you pick this one?
I really like Katie McGrath. She's from Supergirl, which I think we enjoy her accent, the way it slips in and out of American to Irish. We've big fans of Ireland. We watched some Christmas movie.
Princess for Christmas.
There you go.
With her and Outlander.
And then it's always fun to see her pop up in other things. She was in that King Arthur with Charlie Hunnam. She was just a tiny role where she got... Oh, and I watched Merlin for a long time, so she was in all of that TV series, which is a lot of fun for all your random British actors.
And you and I watched this movie together, Jurassic World. I guess I picked this one because, I don't know if you were familiar with this, but her death is actually pretty famous in the internet sphere. A lot of people are saying how brutal it was.
I seem to remember that.
She was like the first woman to be killed in a Jurassic Park movie. And her death isn't just getting bitten or eaten when she's sitting on the toilet, like in Jurassic Park, or you know, having a great line saying "clever girl" to two raptors, or being like stupid Peter Stormare in the second Jurassic Park where he goes to take a pee and then he gets lost and tiny dinosaurs murder him. This movie, she's the assistant to Bryce Dallas Howard's character, and she's forced to watch these two kids. That it's not part of her job. She's the assistant. She's not a babysitter.
I mean, real brats, right?
Yeah, and throughout this day, they let an Indominus Rex out, right? Because they don't know that it can camouflage itself. The kids run away. And it all leads to her getting picked up by one pterosaur, dropped by that pterosaur, picked up by another pterosaur, dropped into the water, then grabbed by another pterosaur, lifted out of the water, and then eaten by a mosasaur.
It's a pretty epic death considering no one in the movie seems to notice. It's going, like, only the audience is in on this death.
Yeah, the two kids, they look shocked for a little bit. They're like, let's get out of here. She was just the assistant.
Yeah, Bryce never asks, what happened to Zara?
Yeah, Zara just gets wiped out, and I guess this started with a question for me, and that is, what are the odds that Zara, the assistant, would be picked up by two pterosaurs, dumped into a massive lagoon, and swallowed whole by a mosasaurus while at Jurassic World?
So how'd you go about coming up with probability for this?
Well, this one's really tough because I wasted a lot of time analyzing the park. I found maps, and I found apparently there's a lot of maps, there's video games, and so I tried to lay out the entire park, and it got really complicated because I wanted to know pretty much everything that happened that day.
Distance between things.
Exactly. And how the timing worked out and how this... But then I realized that was insane because I also included like divorce rates. Because those kids' parents were getting divorced. So then they had to go to their aunt. The square mileage of the park. Aviary destruction. And like general stupidity. Like what are the odds a scientist wouldn't tell them that they had... The Indominus Rex had, what, gecko DNA?
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I got to the point where I was at about 1 in 300 billion. That was too much. That just felt like I was...
Way too out
Yeah,
there.
and so I kind of went and I talked to some people who were smarter than me about kind of odds, and we kind of narrowed it down to a few different things, and then I kind of took it home. So I really narrowed it down because, well, I don't know, 1 in 300 billion, that's just like, it felt like I made something up. So I started with a few things. I said Jurassic Park had been open for 10 years. Right? All year round, 3,650 days, and they never had an animal escape. So that's 1 in 3,650.
I was really surprised by that 10 years thing. I mean, I guess we haven't watched this movie in a while, but 10 years, it felt very, like they had just opened it when you are watching this movie.
Oh, for sure. And they're hanging in there in 10 years. I mean, they're staying busy, but they've never had an animal escape. So
just this one terrible day.
Yeah, where she's looking after two children. Normally, she would have been fine. The next is, I put, according to park numbers, there were 21,216 guests at the park. I saw that on a screen, which is kind of cool that they just gave you that. Yeah, so
is that where Jake Johnson is sort of in the computer lab?
Yeah, you see that in there. I love when he, at the end, when he tries to
and
go
he
on
has
a date.
the vintage shirt on.
Yeah, I love that. I guess that there were 150 pterosaurs and other flying beasts, because there were some big little that escaped when the Indominus Rex and helicopter crashed into the aviary. So let's say 1 in 3 of the flying beasts were big enough to pick up one of the guests. So I just put 50, and then that, 50 to 21,216. And then if you narrow that down, that's 1 in 424, right? So I just narrowed down the math to make it a little bit easier. And then I put the majority of the guests had been pushed into the front area of the park near the Mosasaurus cage where the Indominus got eaten, which was pretty cool. It was a very large area, and I'm guessing half of the people were close to the lagoon because that's where they were all loaded up. Remember Jimmy Buffett was double fisting margaritas?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so that's where everybody was. So I guess that, that's 1 in 2. So I'm saying half the people were next to that lagoon where she got grabbed.
Yeah, well, and it's the entrance, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably where if they're fleeing, they're trying to get to their transportation, their water shuttle of
finish
some sort.
off some margies. And then we had, if the large pterosaur attacked you, so if you're one of those people in there that gets attacked by a pterosaur, the odds of it flying off with you alive or able to fight would be about 1 in 2. Because, go for it.
I was thinking about it when I watched this clip again, and it's like watching one of those Final Destination movies, like the near misses, because the thing doesn't appear, at least, in the world of Jurassic World, to have crazy teeth. So it just sort of picks her up and it's squishing her, but she's not, chomped through with teeth. It could technically spear her almost like a swordfish. Doesn't do that. It's just kind of holding her in its beak. So she's sort of okay until the point where it drops her in the water. Even when it picks her up again, it's just when the mosasaur gets her. So if they had stayed away from the water, she actually might have been okay.
And and also what's also nuts, she's picked up by a pterosaur, she's dropped. So
midair.
She has that motion of going down, and another bigger one grabs her. So the odds of that make it even more astronomical. She might have fallen and maybe broken some bones, right?
Yeah.
Well, but
broke a few ribs.
Yeah, exactly.
Rupture a spleen.
And I mean, worst case, cracked skull, but she's not eaten by a giant dinosaur while screaming.
Still alive.
Yeah. So, and also there was a pterosaur that was like mauling a guy with its claws in the background. So that could have happened to her, which would have been equally as terrible. Then I put, after being grabbed by a pterosaur, the odds of you fighting back would be 1 in 2. So the thing, its claws grabbed her by the feet. And so she didn't really have much of a chance of fighting off, but maybe if it had your arm, you could swing. So I said 1 in 2. And then if you were picked up close to the water, you'd have a 1 in 2 chance of being dropped into the water. I mean, horrible.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are clearly stacked against her. If it's what is your final number? 1 in 24.7 million or something?
Yep. So I put 1 in 24,761,600.
It was just not her day. I mean, really, how did the pterosaur single her out? I mean, she's in the middle of a crowded area. Think, ports of call at Islands of Adventure in Orlando. There's always a ton of people there going to shops and restaurants. How did it pick her? Was it her shiny hair? Was it that little iPad she's carrying? What was it that made it choose her?
What I think helped is she was perfectly squared up to the thing. So I was able to get both claws onto her shoulders and just lift her up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe if she was sideways, it wouldn't have been able to.
Or if she had been like ducking and running.
She turned, if she was running away, it could have grabbed her. But I think if she was sideways, she was fine.
And again, this would be the kid's fault because she's standing up, looking for them, calling out to them.
Yeah, and they say, you could maybe say she was coming across as a little stern, but she's like, why are you standing there? And then thump, she gets grabbed away. So she's trying to, she's like this assistant who's wearing heels, by the way, much like Bryce Dallas Howard. She's staying with these children. She's trying to get them moving. And in the process, she squares up perfectly for a massive pterosaur to grab her, which somehow drops her and is picked up by another. These pterosaurs, I mean, is she heavy? Because when it drops her, it doesn't really look like she's that heavy to the thing. It just drops her in there. It didn't do it on purpose.
No, it definitely looks like she got dropped.
Yeah, so between all
but
that...
I mean, there was a lot of chaos going on. There's bird things everywhere, and there's people ducking and diving, and...
It's thinking, freedom! Right?
Rogue other dinosaurs all over the park.
And so, I think the 1 in 24.7 million is a pretty good estimate for where we came from.
I think that's fair. I mean... You being the one person that they picked up seems extremely unlikely, but that was her day.
I just kind of, as soon as I saw that number, as opposed to the 1 in 300 billion.
It felt right.
Yeah, I know, it felt good to me. And then when I unleashed this onto, Reddit and on my site, there weren't too many people who were angry about it, because I didn't try to phrase it as, I didn't want to be a hate factory, just saying this movie stinks, this and that. I just wanted to do the odds. The thing is, what I like about this is that there's no real answer. But if the math is correct, and it makes sense, so this made sense to me, and it also made me laugh.
Oh, no, it's definitely hilarious. It's almost a comedy of errors that ends in a woman getting killed by 2 dinosaurs.
She gets obliterated.
Swallowed whole.
Obliterated. And she's shriek like, her yelling.
Yeah, she really is. I thought about joining today instead of saying hi as, ah, to imitate the character in the movie.
I mean, she was screaming.
Yeah, it's really awful. And then that one shot you have on your post where she's holding the little sign up when she greets the kids and they're supposed to find her, like an airport limo sort of sign. It says their names on it. She's got this massive engagement or wedding ring, they never really say, on her hand. So, I mean, she's got someone at home who's waiting for her. She's never coming home. She seems very capable. She seems well dressed. I really liked her ensemble that day.
And there's a very funny Cracked article that says she's the hero. She's reading Jeff Goldblum's book in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so they try to make her a bad guy a little bit because she's talking about her fiance not having a bachelor party on the phone during one scene.
Mm.
And then she acts grumpy when she has to watch the kids. But so she's the assistant to Bryce Dallas Howard, who basically runs the park.
Yeah, so you would think an assistant to that person, I mean, that's a pretty high-level role.
It's not a coffee getter.
Well, it's not a babysitter.
That got thrown on her because of Bryce Dallas Howard sort of not wanting to do that, and it led to that. And it was kind of crazy. I really went through everything. So, she's forced to look after him. They leave her, they run away from her immediately. And then the kids steal the car.
Oh, yeah.
And then they take that bubble too far. So pretty much everything that happens in this movie leads towards poor Zara's death. And I just wanted to cover the odds on that. And I was pretty happy with it. Like 1 in 27 million.
I don't know. I think you can make a case for those children being the true villains of this movie.
Yeah, well, I just think the scientists who didn't tell them... Like, if you're a scientist in Jurassic World, you don't want to tell everything that's in this dinosaur because you want to bring fans in, right? You think the T-Rex is getting stale.
Yeah.
But at least tell people, hey, this thing can blend into plants.
It's got some potentially dangerous qualities.
If you don't see it in the cage, it's still in there. All right? Don't open the doors and let it murder people. And then don't send out 10 people with taser guns to try to take it down.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a great decision, but
this was fun, though. This data post for me, it's kind of amazing how much time I spent on it in the beginning. I don't know if you remember. I watched the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did a layout of the entire park. But then it just felt silly to me. So then I really had fun. This is one of the rare times where I've just sort of scaled back on this data piece. And I feel like it was better for it.
Yeah, I really like the breakdown of the probability and then your list of things that led to her death. That was all mostly other people's. Oh, it was all other people's fault.
I feel terrible for Zara, and I'm glad I wrote this piece.
She should have taken a PTO day, honestly, that day.
And I just want to say, before we get out of here, a special thanks to you, Megan, for joining me. And a special thanks to John Levengood, who after I was beating my head on my desk, I called him up and we sort of narrowed it down to a few things, and I was able to come up with these odds. But this one was tough. It was fun to do, and I thought this would be a lot easier for me to do, but it was one of the harder ones.
I don't know. Given her impact on the overall movie and the type of attention it received, I think she warrants a slight memorialization post-credits.
Yeah, for Zara?
Yeah, or even, a little after the credits scene.
That's funny. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and Megan Hoffmeyer, and Zara, this is Movie Someone
For
Flicks.
Zara.
Talking about our dumb data. We'll see you on the next one.